computer.
All right, guys, we are back with, and we actually came up with a name. I know it says in the description we don't got a name, but this is E-Rect Wednesdays.
Very fresh.
Very fresh Erect. Um, with us tonight, we got a special guest, former pro Nathan Waddell. How's it going
Big
tonight,
emphasis
Nathan?
on the former.
Good. Got a nice cold Corona extra.
Fresh
Just hanging
too.
out.
Just ran to the liquor store.
Exactly.
He's like, we get in here like a half hour ago, and he's like, is everybody drinking beer and they got the cameras on? And like, do I have to have my camera on? Like, it kind of helps.
So
you don't have to have your camera on, but it helps.
Right.
You know, the old mechanic guy. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It helps.
So
you don't always have to put air in your tires, but it helps.
former pro, last year rookie season. What kind of were you expecting going into that, and what's it like being a pro? In a late model, I should say, for in case we got sprint guys in here.
Right, yeah. I mean, going in, I mean, I had pretty high expectations. I considered myself one of the best, and I knew that going in, it was the best of the best. I knew it was going to be tough. I don't know if I really set any expectations. I think the main goal was to finish top 15 in points to try to retain the license, but that didn't happen. But it's a learning lesson, learning experience. Ended up making half the features, so I mean that's a good one. I think if I make it again, the goal will still be to keep the license, but from what I've seen, as long as you can make more than half the features and do well in them, you'll be in solid shape to keep the license. So that was the goal, and didn't make the goal, but the goal before that was just to make Pro Series. So I got something out of it. I was able to call myself a pro, which was pretty cool. I was telling my dad after or before I made it, before the qualifier started, that was like, I mean, how many people can really call themselves a pro at something? So it was pretty neat. And then making that goal and achieving that and getting the pro license was amazing. I'll never forget whenever I got the email from iRacing saying that I was in. So it was definitely a cool experience and something that I hope to be able to make Pro Series again and do it all over again.
Do you race in real life at all, or did you ever race in real life?
No, I raced like little what they called miniature late models. They were like,
I've seen those. Those are cool.
yeah, they're still around. Like there's some bigger versions of them now. Like they're called sharp late models. They're basically little small tires and little small but similar to a late model frame. The body looks very similar. And at the time we were running 5.5 horse, like what you would call like a Harbor Freight Predator engine, but it was a Honda engine back then. But I raced those whenever I was like 7 and 8 and 9 years old. So I mean, other than that, no real racing experience at all.
Like, at what point did you think you could make the Pro Series? Like, and when did you? Okay, that's a better question. When did you start your career on iRacing?
I started in July of 2020, and to be honest, like before I even started iRacing, I'd see people do iRacing on YouTube and stuff like that, and I saw the announcement for Dirt, way back in like 2016 or whatever for iRacing, and I always wanted to try it. And I'd watch those people on YouTube and like think, man, I wish I could try my hand at it, just see, just get to do something. I want to race in real life like most everybody else here, and so I was like, maybe that'll scratch the itch. I'll get to try it maybe one day, and didn't know if I would ever be as good as I am. Not to sound egotistical, but I don't think it really ever struck me as a possibility until I started really competing with guys that I knew were really good, and I was able to compete with them and contend for wins in those kind of races. And then once I was able to start doing that, I just kind of was like hoping that they would do another Pro Series, because if you remember, whenever I started iRacing in 2020 was whenever they were kind of wrapping up the last late model Pro Series. So like I didn't get the chance to even go for that. I mean, it would have been brand new anyways, had no shot. But then they didn't do it in 2021. So I was like, are they ever going to do it again? Like, if I missed my opportunity? And I was just kind of hoping and waiting to see if they were going to do it again. And then they announced it, and I was like, all right, it's time to lock it in and really start to hone in, my skills and get a lot of laps in and try and make this thing. So I don't think I really ever would have imagined that I did, or if I would have told myself back, whenever I was watching YouTube videos on iRacing, people doing dirt on iRacing, I don't think I would have believed myself if I could tell them that you would eventually be better than this person that you're watching, or you made Pro Series, you're one of the top 10 I-rating guys in the world. Like, I wouldn't have believed it, but it's pretty neat that it happened, like can't can't be upset about that.
I mean, who would? I mean, Casey, you're wanting to go for Pro Series and sprint cars next year. I know I'm wanting to. Grover, have you made up your mind? Are you gonna try to go for that next year? Is
Oh,
that
I'm
something that
definitely
you're
gonna
wanting to
go
do?
for it if I can get out of this fucking 2800 fucking bullshit. I'm
My
literally.
dad's
I guess it's good to hear that if you've been on the sim for like, it seems like 2 years is like a good sweet spot to be. You've been on the sim for that long. That's a good amount of experience. Should try to go for the Pro Series then. But I mean, I get where you're coming from, not wanting to go for it right away. You
I
missed your
don't.
chance anyway.
The
But
thing
You get.
is, well, I didn't. I don't think. The thing is, I don't think that there's an issue with going for it, whether or not you're ready or not. You might surprise yourself. You the experience of just being in the pro qualifiers and learning how they work, which isn't too different than anything else, but just getting that experience, even if you don't make it, it lets you know around about the talent level that you'll be seeing the next time that it happens. And why not go for it? You know what I mean? You're not gonna, if you're not good enough, you're not gonna be taking a spot from someone who could have made it anyways. So
Right.
that's
Ashton,
kind of how I view it.
are you planning on going for it? Ashton.
Oh, you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to
Nathan, like,
fucking Billy Bob Thornton Jr. behind me.
you sound like you're asking Nathan about going for sprint car or something.
No,
so.
I'm asking. Are you
No,
gonna
we're
try
asking
and make
you if
Pro
you're going for
Series?
Pro-
No, I don't know. We'll see.
I never would go for Pro Series in a late model. I can't drive those things to save my life.
Dude,
me
it's like I
neither.
said. My first year I had iRacing 2020. I first got it. Everybody I raced with was like John Sang and them guys who run late models all the time. And they're like, "Hey, come race with us, whatever." And I seen this thing, Sites Memorial, that Nate, or not Nate, who I can't even think of his name, puts it on. Nick Leinert puts it on.
Oh
The
yeah,
site,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Leinert.
cool. I'm gonna enter this thing, dude. I'm gonna go win this thing. I only had the game or fucking sim for I think 3 weeks. Told all my family to go watch. I got all my real life sponsors for my sprint car on there, everything. The wife who's sitting behind me right now, she's watching from behind me. And I had a T80 wheel, dude. I had no force feedback, nothing. I literally got lapped 6 times in a late model in the heat race. All of my family, I looked in the group text message, don't quit your day job. And I'm like, yep, never again am I touching a late model.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like, for me, like I had that kind of confidence at first going in, like that, I could go out there and try to win any race, but it wasn't, immediate success for me. Like it was a slow climb at first, once like at 3 weeks, I was, you know, thinking I was pretty good and I was getting confident in this car at this track, and I'm like, I could beat anybody, and then you get humbled, and that still happens, but it took a while for me to really get to a point where I started really improving and could kind of tell the potential that I might have.
I believe Cody said you are on Apex, correct?
Yes, sir, right here,
Okay.
Apex Industries.
I mean, we're all FSI on the sprint side. I know I joke around with these guys. We'll be gridding up. I told Casey the other night. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna right rear you. I'm knocking you out of that A class. Like, what is it? I know for me personally, racing against teammates, I'm running them a little bit harder than I normally would anybody else, but I'm more
that's good to know.
scared to get into them. Well,
Right.
I mean, I want to beat you guys. You know, that's the thing is I'd much rather lose to Joe Blow than a teammate. And so do you personally, do you race your teammates harder than you would anybody else, or do you?
Uh, we got over on Apex in the late model side, and somewhat in the sprint car side and in the big block side. I mean, we have a lot of top level talent. We just got a bunch of guys over on Apex now that were on other teams that we've kind of acquired, I guess you could say, on the late model side that we're in the Pro Series as well. So we got a lot of talent, and so I race everybody, just as hard. Um, of course, I'm like you said, I'm a little more scared to get into someone that's my teammate, but I don't really like making contact with anybody. I don't want to have a target on my back. I don't want to have any enemies. I don't want to do anything, especially to my teammates, like you said, to ruin one of my teammates' race. But I'm trying to win just as much as any one of those guys are. I mean, there's there's so many guys on our team that are so good. It's it's almost good to race against them because like they're so good, and we can battle, and I trust them. And plus, being in Discord, we can kind of be like, okay, I'm about to throw a slider on you, so like we can kind of have a little bit more trust that way. But I have the benefit of racing them, knowing that they're going to race me clean because I'm their teammate and they have the same ability. So we can kind of race a little harder that way because we know that even probably even if we weren't teammates, but because we're teammates, we're going to race with a little bit more respect for each other, and maybe give a little bit more room. But we
You
Yeah,
got
that's
more respect
very
than I do.
competitive.
Yeah, that's
Racing
kind of
Grover,
like
I
what
ain't
I
giving him
touched on.
respect.
Right, that's kind of like what I touched on last week with when you're racing in the bottom splits versus racing in the top splits. You're racing in bottom splits, you throw a slider, you're not going to have the confidence that somebody's just going to run you right over after you threw it and then try to tell you that you're not clear. When you
Right.
work, you run into that toxicity and then finally get into the top split race. I don't know if it's like this on the late model side because I don't run late models, but I would be in top split and I would probably get humbled really, really fast and get thrown out of it really quickly
Oh yeah.
because I'm just a weapon out there in a late model. But you would at least trust the people around you to make the right moves or make better moves.
Yeah, I mean, like in with the I rating that I have, I'm always in top split, and I know that those guys are always racing hard, but they know the moves to make. They can tell whenever I'm about to throw a slider on them. I know whenever they're about to throw a slider on me. I know whenever they're gonna duck low or they're gonna try to swing high, and whenever I'm going low. I mean, there's all sorts of scenarios, but I know that 99% of the time, the guys that I race against, even if they're not my teammates, are going to make the smart move, the one that, benefits them, but is also, putting them at less of a risk to being taken out. And, we, on the late model side, you kind of, it's gotten a little bit easier to predict too, because, like with the tire model that we have now, you kind of have to throw a slider on someone and just park it right in front of them. So you can kind of start to predict that just because the tire model that we have now, you just have such little drive after something like a slider. So
Right.
if you slide someone like you're supposed to, like you would in real life, you're just going to get cut under and drove right back by. And so slider battles kind of end up with someone that just comes up right in front of you and parks it on your nose.
You almost got to
Not
kill that momentum.
exactly. And I did that in the Pro Series one time, and I felt bad about it, but it's like I knew what I had to do, and it worked for me. And but any of those guys would have done it to me. So it's just, I mean, that's like whenever we were practicing for some of the Pro Series qualifiers. I was practicing with one of my teammates, and I was throwing a slider, and he was like, "No, no, no, this is not how we're going to be throwing sliders in qualifiers and Pro Series. We're gonna have to stop right in front of the person. You can't slide all the way. You gotta." So it's just how it is. But there's a lot of respect in top split, and it's generally pretty clean. So
Do
I
you?
noticed last night it's super quiet.
it is sometimes.
Like
It's
I
more
raced and I
general like
was in it.
banter.
Yeah, like I was like the number 20 car, last one in the split. But I was telling the guys in Discord, I'm like, this is the quietest race I've ever been in. I haven't raced a late model race in forever, and I went in there and I didn't make the feature, but I was like, I enjoyed that. It was quiet. No
Yeah.
one's yelling at each other. It was enjoyable.
You get in the sprint cars and
Oh.
it's you're such a dumb fucker, you stupid.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
toxicity is bad in
the-
sprint cars.
So for whatever
Generally-
reason, the egos and the sprint car side of it, it just it's
Well,
through the roof. It's
There's
ridiculous.
egos
That's
on
because
the
we
late
got
model
big.
side.
It's because we got bigger
There
balls
is,
than them
I've
late
seen it.
models drivers.
Oh, okay, okay. Come on over to my side of town. Let's see how you do. Look, I mean, we all got egos, you know. I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't have a little bit of an ego. You have to.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound egotistical, but you have to at this level. You
Yep.
have to believe that you're the best in the world, and that any given night you can win against whoever the fuck's out there. So,
Right.
but in general, I mean, I haven't been in the bottom split or middle split race in a while, but I think from what I can tell, generally, like, top split races are probably quieter because, like, most of the incidents, if there are any in top split, are because of aggressive moves. They're not because of really dumbass, can't hold a line, can't control their car kind of shit, which is
Right.
what really will piss you off in a bottom split race. And then you also got the bottom split guys, or the new guys who are just the bottom split new guys are generally just more prone to just fire off if something happens because they're new and they haven't experienced as much loss in the races that some of the more experienced guys have, where, like, if I get wrecked out of a race, it kind of frustrates me, of course, but it's not as detrimental as it was whenever I first started, because I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
it's
Well, it's like I just hit 4,000 I rating. So for me, if I get taken out of a race right now and I go down to 3,000, I'm gonna be pissed because it took me forever to get to 4,000. But if I was at like Casey's I rating, where he's like, where you at now, Casey? 47 something.
I'm
You
at-
were at 5. You were at 5.
I'm back to 48.50 and I'm going back up again. But yeah, I was at 5 over 5.
But like, if I got to Casey's level, I wouldn't care. It wouldn't
Think
bother
that.
me as much
You
because I'm
think
like,
that.
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
yeah,
I get
no,
to that
it's-
level, I'm gonna be
I
like,
do.
because I never thought I'd get to 4,000 either. I never thought I'd get to 3,000. For that longest time of being stuck in 1,000 to 2,000 and stuck in these middle split races, and then if I did get to the top split, I was getting my ass kicked every single time. I was like, there's just no way. But then when I joined FSI and I get different sets and all of that started to change. So I don't know if it was different for you when you got to Apex, or when did you join Apex?
Earlier. Sorry, I'm thinking 2022. I joined it early 2022, really before it even formed. I was one of the first guys brought on board by the big block builder because I've been, kind of following him around since early 2021. So, I mean, you think that though, but it still is frustrating. Like, I got up to like 86.50-ish, something like that. And then I had a string of a couple of bad races and I was down to like 82.50 or something. And I'd lost like 400 and I was trying to get to 9,000. And then, I lost like 400 in like 2 or 3 days, right around Christmas too. It sucks. But you think that, once you get to that level, you just don't care. I mean, I still care. I'm not gonna hop on the mic and bitch at whoever caused it if it was somebody else. One of them was completely my fault. I did it all on my own. But there's that side of it where you're not gonna just fire off at them, at least not as hard as you would have if you're new and haven't experienced it yet. But there's also the other side where I am still pretty disappointed, and I'm kind of like, damn, I was hoping for a couple of good days of racing, and here I am, back to where I was as far as iRating, 2 weeks ago or whatever, and I had this goal, and so it's still frustrating, but it's not quite the same.
I think you
But
got
you
some
will
teammates.
get there. You will think that, once I get to I've said it every single time. I said whenever I was pushing to get to 6K that that was be it. I'm done. I'm gonna get an alt account. I'm running on the alt account. Well, I got to 6K, and then I was like, well, let's try to get 7K. Then I got to 7K, and then I was like, well, let's try to get 8K. And then I'm like pushing for 9K, and I hardly ever run on the alt account. It's like it's just how it is.
I remember you
think you
telling me
got
how
some
easy it
teammates.
is to lose safety.
Me?
Like when you have your pro license,
Yeah.
you
It
get
is.
like a 2x and lose like 20 safety.
Yeah.
And so like you guys would race on your alt accounts because you don't want to lose your license, or you're clear up there at 4.99, and it sucks to lose 20, and it takes you 4 to 5 races to get all that back.
That was really whenever I held the pro license was really the only time that I've ever worried about safety rating, because I've always kind of kept it right at 4.99.
Yeah.
On the A license. But whenever I had the pro license, it was definitely rough. Like it was, I mean, a simple 2x in a race, and then that would bring you down a little, but then you get another 2x like in the next race. I mean, you're losing like 0.3 or something like that, and then you're not that it really matters, because people don't realize that the pro license was just kind of there really for bragging rights. Before the pro license is actually what got you into the Pro Series races. Like they gave it to you so that you could have. They gave it to you so you could have access to the series.
Yeah.
And like so you could enter the official series. But now it's a league, and so they just invite you to the league and they give you the pro license because you made the Pro Series. And then if you lose it, you're still in the league. Like one driver in the late model Pro Series this last season lost his pro license because his safety rating was below 2.0. Pro license 2.0, it was like 2.0 1.5 or something like that. And then we had the season ended, and we had the new season. So it works just like any other license, where if you were at a 1.5, he got demoted, but he was still able to run in the Pro Series. So like it didn't really matter if I lost the pro license because of that. But I also, I mean, if you're getting incidents, it's because you're getting into people. So like you're still doing it for that. But that was really the only time that I really worried about it, because it was, like I wanted the pro license 4.99.
You earned it. You want to see it. You want people to see it.
Exactly.
Well, there's other things that you can't account for. Like there's wrecks that happen in front of you that there's nothing you can do to avoid it, and it just happens.
Real quick,
And
too, guys.
that would be why I would want an alt account if I hit the Pro Series.
Real quick, I'm gonna jump over to chat here. I got Waddell. Is that a Rona? That's from Jordan LaFawn.
LaFawn.
And then he goes, fire in the hole, boys. Jason Butterfield with Waddell is an OG. Ryan Miller. Ryan Miller says it's the #1 dirt iRacer. Jason Butterfield again. He is the Red Rocket. And then Ryan Miller jumps back in and goes, he's not a pro no more. He's too slow. So are we seeing some teammates in the chat?
Yeah, so Butterfield, he's an OG, man. Like whenever I first started, I think half a year later, I was in a league, and there was a fast guy in there that I wanted to learn from. The new big blocks had just came out, and he was whooping everybody's ass. So I was like, man, I want to learn from you, and asked him if he had a team, and turns out he later told me that he made the team just so that he could teach me and have me on his team, because he saw potential in me, which was really cool. His name's Colin Bocus, and he's one of my best friends, and he's taught me so much, and we've grown both together on the sim so much. It's awesome. But so that original team was called CJB Speedworks. Colin J, whatever his middle name is, Bocus Speedworks, and Butterfield was also in that league, and he was on that team, and so we go way back. And Butters is a really cool dude.
It slipped. Butters.
Do I need to get the sweatshirt?
Miller is on Apex. He's HSR guy. Those are a really cool group of guys. I met a lot of them at Gateway, which is the hoodie that I'm wearing, the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Miller's cool, but I did. Yeah, that's where I met him. And Miller, the reason he said that I'm too slow is, I mean, he's just fucking around, because I don't have the pro license anymore, so obviously I was too slow. But we ran a hosted race one time, and me and the leader it was a hosted race between all of us on Apex, and me and Nick, the leader, got together, and I spun out, so I went to the back, and then as I was coming back up through the field, I spun Miller out, and it was his hosted race. And he was like, "Why the fuck did you spin me out?" Like, we were both going to the bottom, and I just sent it in a little too hard. And I was like, "Well, you were going too fucking slow." And so he was like, "Oh yeah, well, how about this?" And he kicks me from the session. And so now he likes to joke that I'm too slow because I said that. I think he's still salty about it. But and then the
Put
top,
your foot
the
in it,
number one
pylon.
third iRacer, the number one third iRacer thing is that's a long story too. But
So, yeah, I won't
that
say
one-
much in races anywhere except for put your foot in it, you pylon. But
See, and
that's-
I can't
That's
say
not true.
much.
Casey's in Discord saying that to every other person he passes.
Yeah.
pretty much.
He just won't mic up over game chat.
See, and I can't say much because I mean, Casey, Ashton, you guys both know this story. Cody, you haven't heard it, obviously.
Yeah, I was getting ready to laugh my ass off at this, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So David Wilson. I mean, I race with him quite a bit at night. I'm up late racing. He gets on late with Travis Jacobson. They're on the West Coast, and
D-Jack.
we're racing Knoxville the other night at official, and I'm moving up through the field. I mean, I want to say I was hauling for being in top split, and I'm about up to fourth, and I can see a car up on the wall. Drives
You
down
just
the
didn't know
back
what to do with
stretch.
yourself.
No, he just I didn't know what to do with my hands, dude. And I can see this car up on the wall coming through too, and then all of a sudden we get to 3 and 4, and he drives straight down the track at the apron. Doesn't even go into the corner, just straight down the track and hits me. And I instantly mic'd up, "Are you fucking stupid? What the fuck are you doing?" And I got my toe, and I look at the replay, and I realize it's David Wilson. And I'm like, "Yo, David, sorry, bro, I didn't realize it was you." Everybody in the lobby starts laughing. So I text, I text him on Facebook. I'm like, "Dude, I didn't even realize it was you. I'm sorry for going off on you. I said a few other choice words I can't say on here. Shouldn't have said on iRacing either, but." And he goes, "Dude, don't worry. I laughed so hard I was fucking crying." He goes, "I would have did the same thing." So I can't say much. I normally mic up right away if I see something stupid like that, and I probably shouldn't, but no, just knowing it was a buddy and I mic'd up, not realizing it was a buddy, and then him not even getting mad because I thought for surely I was going to get reported for a couple of the words I said.
It's funny that you say that because I literally just had a story like almost exactly like that on Monday with I know we weren't going to mention names, but he won't care. Bryce Howenstein.
Oh,
It's
Bryce.
Yeah, I'm moving up through this field in a 360 race at Lanier, and he hits that fucking gap in the wall at the flag stand, and it kicked him out into me. And at that same time, I'd kicked my right rear out to get the car rotated into the corner, and he said something. And I didn't hear it the great. I just replaced my hard drive, so I'm still working on getting all of my settings back to where they were before. And apparently my game chat wasn't up enough. And he had made like a dumb move before in a race and got somebody into me that completely unrelated to him, but he kind of caused it all. So I was like, well, I don't know what's going on with Bryce. I feel like he's been racing kind of weird lately, or just hasn't been racing all the cleanest lately. Not like himself at all. So I kind of wondered what was going on. And he said something over the game chat. I just immediately thought he was talking shit and kind of flew off the handle. And I told him to get it to Discord right away over the game chat, but apparently nobody heard it. So apparently I don't have that set up either. And so I sent him a message in Discord afterwards. I'm like, "What was that? What are you doing?" And he's like, and he immediately called me. He's like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to come off aggressive, but I just said that, hey, Cody, there's a wall up there. That's all I said." And I'm like, "Oh. My bad, dude. I had no idea what you said. I thought you were just
over here blaming me.
Right, because we were racing each other hard, like we always do every race that we get into, and it seems like Bryce is one of those people that wants to run the bottom at the same time, and I like running right through the middle and trying to make that work, and so it's really easy for his line and my line to just meet at the same place that where we were. So, and I didn't know if he knew I was there or not, because I was completely coming from behind him and had the run, and he got into the wall, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck he's mad at me about. But then he was just like, "Yeah, there's a wall up there, Cody." And I'm like, "Oh shit, no." He's like, "I didn't even mean to get into you," and I'm like, "Dude, my bad."
So I got to
One
ask.
thing I
I
learned.
get your story.
One thing I learned early on was just always just wait like until after the race is over and then check the replay. Like that's
Yeah.
what I do 100% of the time. Like unless it's clear, and even then sometimes not. Like I say if we made contact, I'll just throw out a general "my bad," just to kind of say like sorry for the contact, whether whose fault it was or not. But then, if they're pissed off, I'm like, well, let's look at it after the race and check the replay. And that happened recently. I can't remember the exact example, but I was like, let's just look after the replay, and I tried to explain my side, but I think it helps diffuse the situation, cooler heads prevail kind of thing. And it helps me get so frustrated in the moment. It helps me keep from doing that. And the calmer that you are whenever you're racing, the better. I'm not stewing. Whenever I'm sitting here at the wheel after a little bit of contact, I just accept that it happened and move on, and then look at it after the race and see. Not that it really matters whose fault it is. I just look at it and see what I could have done. If he was running a little bit lower than I expected or a little higher or whatever, what I should have realized, and then I try to work on that. So that's one thing that I always try to tell people whenever they ask me for help is like, just if you're getting mad and you're getting all pissed off, and after a little bit of contact, just try to wait till after the race and then deal with it.
See, and I'm all different, dude. I'm all let's go Ayrton Geniton and Brock Zierfoss in the pits right here, right now type thing.
Go full Sheldon Hodenshield pit crew helper on you.
Yeah.
It works for me, at least. I mean, some people might drive better pissed off. My dad thinks that I drive better pissed off because one time whenever I was a kid and I was racing those little late models, I got turned on a start. Like before the race even started, I got turned and then I flipped. And I landed right back on my wheels. Like we were going real slow, hadn't even really started, and I just grip flipped basically. And I landed, and little 8-year-old me didn't want to race anymore. I was like, I'm done. I was trying to pull off the track. My dad told me no. He was like, no, you're fucking going back out there, and you're racing. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm scared. I didn't want to say it, but I was scared. I just flipped. I'm done.
Like no,
And he was
you
like,
gotta
"No,
go
you-"
back out there and
Yeah.
see if the car's still good.
Yeah, he was like, no, you're getting your ass back out there, and you're racing. I was pissed, dude. I was probably white knuckling that wheel. That was the hardest and the fastest that I'd ever raced before, and I won that race by God knows how much. And after the race, of course, I was happy. But my dad, after that, always thinks that I race better whenever I'm pissed off.
I think
my
that's
dad with me in sports. He'd piss
Maybe
me
there's
off on
some truth
purpose.
to that.
I think that's a lot of people though. I mean, you look at people even real racing, like you said, dude. You get spun, you go to the back. Look at Larson at Bristol, dude. He's pissed off. He had to take the tail of the field. He drove that car so hard. He would have won that race if that tire wouldn't have blown up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was just like me at Lanier earlier this week. It's like I didn't even go back and look at the replay, but something happened where Colby got into me, and I lost. I didn't go to the back of the field, but I lost a couple spots. And at that point, I'd already kind of didn't qualify well. Was already at the back of the field. Was trying to work my way up so that I was gaining IRacing because I'm trying to hit that 4,000 goal, and I needed a top 5 to get there, and I knew that. So I was like back in 9th at that point, and I'm like, God, I've really got to find a way to drive through this field. And for some reason, whenever I get pissed off, I just hyper focus, and I don't think I missed my spot after that. Every single time I needed to hit the spot in the corner, I hit it just right, and everything just seemed to work out really well. I was just really focused.
I think if it works out that way for you, it can work. But most people, whenever they get all pissed off, they lose their focus.
Yep.
So that's why
Yeah,
I
they
always
get
try to
so level.
recommend people to just simmer down, don't get all pissed off, and just run your race.
Do you
Do what
got
you can from there.
do you got anybody on your team? I know for me, it's Ashton. I mean, we've been close in iRating the last 6 months. I'm always chasing his fucking tail tank. You got anybody on the team where you are like super? I'm not gonna say aggressive, but that you want to
Grudgy.
beat. Yeah,
Do you guys have
you
like
got a
iRating wars
rivalry.
too? Like who's got the highest iRating? You guys brag about that?
Not really. I mean, I think most people will say it's just a number, and in reality, it is. But I mean, it like I was telling somebody the other day, like, I mean, at this point, what else do I really have to go for? There's no Pro Series qualifier announcement yet. There's I mean, there's money races occasionally, and whenever those come around, I'll prep for those. I don't really run leagues, so what else do I really have to go for? I try to go for the iRating goal that I have of 9,000, or before it was 8,000, and but it's not something that I'm like, I'm running everything, even cherry picking, so to speak, just to try
No
to get
life
it.
in it.
Right. So, I don't know if any of my teammates really do that too much. Like Zach McSwain, he's a new teammate to Apex. He's at like 9,300, and I don't think my goal is to like get to 9K and then to pass him. It's not like that. He doesn't even. I don't even think he really cares about iRating. Kiefer got up to 9,000. Damian Kiefer, the guy who builds my late
He
model sets,
builds, right?
yeah, he builds the late model sets. And he got up to 9,000, and then lost all the way back down to like 8,400, and he just doesn't care. Like some people, they really don't care about it, and so it's more about at this level and at that high of an I rating, it's less about the number and it's more about, can you really back it up? I think
Right.
like it doesn't matter if someone like me, or say for an example, like a fake person is a 9,500 I rating, but all they run is like shit that, like, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but like say they run like limited late models in street stocks and they're at 9,500. Are they really that good of a driver? You know what I mean? Like, sure, they may dominate those races, but like, who's really running that? You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you can, like, there's guys that I run against, or say for example, like Dylan Hauser. Dylan Hauser is at like 6,000 I rating right now, but that motherfucker can load into any race, and like
Fast.
the spring fling went toe to toe with Blake Majulis and nearly won $6,000 in one race.
Yeah.
He's just bad fast. He just doesn't care as much about the I rating as some people do. So some people just don't really care about it. It's more about the how much speed do you really have, and if you have the speed, generally the numbers will back it up, but they don't always back it up. So there's guys that don't care about it,
And Grover here will tell you, we were racing that Cedar Lake. Here, it was the 360. Hey, dude, I'm gonna beat you. And sure as shit, he was in front of me, and you got me by what, half a car length? The car length? I don't even remember.
Yeah, it wasn't even that, dude. I think I got you by like a bumper. And Nathan, you bring up money races. Do you run any sprint cars ever?
No. I ran 410s for the first time in an official, an open setup 410s for the first time in an official during week 1 of the sprint car pro qualifiers.
Okay.
And I just did that on my alt
now.
account. I did that on my alt account. I was in like second split. I qualified the 7th. Lost one spot in the heat race. Started 9th, and then there was a wreck in front of me, and I'm not quite used to how aggressive you have to be with the brakes and really just wreck avoidance. I mean, I've never really raced them, so I wasn't able to avoid it, and I ended up finishing in the back. But that was the first time I ever did, so I don't ever really run them. But I had a couple of pointers from a pro that's on our team, Tyler Ducharme. I had a couple of pointers from him and Colin, and on how to run them, and I got like 10 minutes of practice in, and went in there and qualified seventh, and I was like, that's not too bad. But
I've raced
I don't
against
really
Ducharme
care
a
for
couple of times, and he's fast. He's
Ducharme-
fast. I can't catch him to save my life.
Ducharme is very fast. He's very experienced.
Oh yeah,
He knows what he's
I
doing.
mean, the amount of experience that Ducharme has is damn near unrivaled. Besides maybe a couple of guys. I mean, Ducharme was in a lot of I think all of the late model pro series up until this
season?
last one. This last one, he didn't hold his license from the 2020 season, and he didn't go for it in the last one. But he's been in, I think, all of the sprint car pro series. I mean, he's ran in all the big races for all the other, like I think he's run like the dirt car esports midget races, the wingless, 360 410s. I mean, he was good on R Factor back in the day, so he's got a lot of experience, and we're glad to have him on board with us on Apex now.
Well, where I was
I've
going
ran
with
his sets.
that,
They're good.
And he's a very, very good big block driver. Like he's probably better in big blocks than he is in sprint cars, and that's saying something because, he's obviously a pro in sprint cars and can compete with anybody in sprint cars, like you saw at Knoxville on Monday.
So
Yeah.
where I was going with that though is myself with Backstretch Productions and Nuke's Performance, we have a 1,000 to win Open 360 race at Lanier. You got 4 prelim nights. Friday's the soup, Saturday's the big show, only taking 20 to the big show. I was going to say, I'll make you a deal. Backstretch Gaming will sponsor you your entry fee if you could bring 2 more guys over from Apex that would maybe want to race it. But we'll sponsor you yourself if you would be interested in it.
And that's
when
saying
is-
a lot
when
because
is
I just
this?
paid full price today. And I'm
Yeah.
on the same fucking team as him.
When is it? When is it?
March 20th through the 24th is the prelim nights. We take top 4 automatically into the show. Then that Friday is the soups. Saturday is the big show. I believe 8 or 8:30 Eastern time is when we start.
And the good
So-
news is Grover has all of the drivers that are listed for like whatever night that they're running, so you can
Yep.
kind of, if you want to wait and cherry pick it, you can kind of do that too.
Yeah, final
Which I
day
kinda
to
thought
enter.
about doing until I saw a couple other people sign up for that day, and I'm like, okay, I'll just run it on this night because nobody's really signed up for that night yet, so I want to
We're-
fill in that other night.
We're accepting 240 entries. If we get at least 200 entries, the payout's gonna go up. But it's a full field payout. And if you don't think you're gonna win, if your Monday night's prelim and you don't think you're gonna win, flip your dick off. You get your $25 back.
I'll let the guys know, especially whenever it gets closer to time.
Yeah.
And I think I got a couple of guys in mind that would be interested. I know we don't have the largest sprint car,
Right.
team
Community.
as far as Apex goes. But we do have a handful or more. Joey and Ducharme and Colin is starting to get there on the sprint car side. So we got some guys that might be interested. So I'll let them know. And I think I'd be interested. I like I ran 1 360 race just the other day at Eldora, the fixed 360s.
Oh no.
That shit was, and it was like a damn 2 a.m. for me race. Like I dominated, dude. But I
Racing with the
never, I
Aussies.
never,
Well,
I never let off the gas, man. It was just full throttle, hammer down the whole way.
like I said, this 360's open setup at Lanier. So, I mean, feature it's 55 laps. So it'll be a all throttle control type thing towards the end of it, even in a 360. But
But you mean if you think about it, it'll be really nice to make it more competitive and see
Yep.
who has the control
and if we can get
Yeah.
a few late model guys in there, I mean, it'll be good exposure on both sides. Because I don't honestly think, besides Pro Series, that there's a payout any bigger for sprint car racing yet on the sim. I mean, the late models got the spring
late models-
fling.
Yeah.
They got the gobbler for the street stocks, but I haven't seen, over $3,000 or $2,500 purse for sprint cars yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VLR is doing one in August, but
Late
That was the
model
one
only
that they
gets-
just
before
announced
that.
today.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was
I
just
saw
reading that
that.
off earlier.
I'm looking
But-
forward to the spring fling this year. Last year was my first time running it, and it didn't quite
Good.
go as well as I wanted to. But
It's a good race.
I think what Chris Ferguson and VLR does for the sim racing community, especially the dirt oval side. They get a lot of hate for maybe some of the calls, but at the end of the day, like what they're doing and what they have done as far as the money and everything goes, I mean, you can't deny the impact and
Oh,
what
yeah.
they've done.
Port.
You
Yeah.
got to respect it, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, and shit, like there's been a lot of drama because of it. But at the end of the day, that just makes it more popular. I mean, people love drama, so
Oh yeah.
Right, and
you
that-
know, you
and that was
mentioned.
also at the end of the day, I mean, how many of us are actually going to get the opportunity to race in real life in any way, shape, or form? You know,
Right.
something
I
like
wish.
winning the pot of gold if you finish in first. That's decent money down on a cart. You know, that could potentially get you jump started into real life racing at some point. And if somebody like Chris Ferguson wants to provide that kind of a platform to somebody to give them that opportunity, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Because like I'll never, for me personally, if unless I win the lottery or something, there's no way that I'm going to be able to go race in real life. I got a kid, I got a full family, I got a full life. It's not going to happen. But you know,
Shut up,
racing,
Grover.
potentially having that platform to win a
100
lot of
million,
money
baby.
racing on the sim could get me there.
I'm winning
Yeah, I
that
mean,
100 million.
It sucks, man.
You don't know
know,
anything about football. Shut up.
He's just blind guessing, huh?
Dude,
Shots
I
fired.
Yeah.
He
straight
really
up,
is. Have you
straight
asked him
up.
about it? He's
Okay,
got the fucking
a
every
million,
score of every quarter. He's got it planned out to a
a
T, and if
million
he
to
wins it,
one
100 million.
odds. A million to one odds. I'm gonna throw $100 on this, right? I got Jacksonville beating the Niners in the Super Bowl, 26-15.
Let's see why
I don't
it's a
even know.
million
That's
to
not even a
one.
football score. What are we playing?
Yes, it is. It's happened
They just
8
came back
times.
27-0 down
It's-
To be
Jacksonville.
fair,
Like they ain't gonna win the Super Bowl.
It's
To be
happened
Yes.
8
fair,
times.
to be fair, the Super Bowl generally does provide some really weird scores. Like
Yeah,
there's
it does.
always some weird scores in the Super
Yep.
Bowl that you don't normally see in playoff or regular season
season.
games.
But I'll
So,
tell you this much: if I win that 100 million, that pot of gold jackpot, it's gonna be 10,000 to win. One race.
Oh yeah.
His whole plan was to fly to me because I live in Vegas.
Yeah,
he
okay,
wanted
Basically,
to be
so
Vegas
we
for
need
I'll
a
put it
football
this way.
analyst to help this man out.
I'll put it this way, Nathan. My
Chase
I
to win more
literally
money.
looked. I looked at plane tickets. I can get plane tickets from Minneapolis to Vegas for $44 round trip. Okay. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'll do. The wife goes, well, why instead of doing that, why don't you just send the $100 to Casey, and he can place the bet for you? And I'm like, yeah, I could do that, except if I win, that money is in Casey's name. I'm never gonna hear from Casey again. Like he just won $100 million, and I might as well just go
You're
fucking
dead
hang
to
myself.
Casey at that point.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, I'm ready to get my money. What money?
Yeah.
Money
Pony
changes
Go.
people.
Who's Casey?
Do I know you?
Yeah. So now you bring up Chris Ferguson and stuff. You know, this was something we said we were gonna ask. Who's one of your favorite drivers to watch in real life? I'm gonna say both platforms, late model side and sprint car side. Do you watch much of sprint car?
I watched a little bit. Like I watched a little bit of the Knoxville Nationals. I mean, I really don't. I don't think I really have a favorite really on either side. I do of course enjoy watching Larson just because of the wheelman that he is on the sprint car side. And on the late model side, but referring to I guess my favorite sprint car driver, I guess you could say is Larson, just because I mean he's a wheelman, man. That's
The guy can drive a
that's
sprint car
incredible.
like it's nothing, like it's a little Hot
Right.
Wheel.
So Larson, I guess I would say is my sprint car guy. On the late model side, man, I like any of the guys that are just smooth and clean and are fast. I mean, and generally all those guys are, but you know, I like Bloomer from way back. You know, I've
Oh,
always liked
damn it.
watching Bloomer.
There goes my next question out the window. We know who he's picking, Cody.
Oh yeah.
I like Devin Moran. Devin Moran, I think I would like to see with this new program that he's in. I hope that he can find more success than he did in the 9 car. I mean, people are probably gonna clown me just for liking the guys that are good, but Davenport is just so damn good. It's hard.
Yeah.
I don't like rooting against someone just because they're good. Like that's kind of cliche, and it's not really fair to them to root against them just because they're good. Like, I mean,
Yep.
maybe they have better equipment, maybe they're in a better position, but I mean,
They've put
he's
the
still
work
got to
in.
wheel the damn thing. He's still got to wheel the damn thing, and Davenport's really good at that. I like watching Bobby Pierce just because he can fucking rail the cushion, man. He's fun to watch. I really think, and I posted this on Facebook the other day. I really think now that that Bobby Pierce is in a Longhorn, he'll be a really tough guy to beat this year. So I like Overton. I met Overton at Talladega Short Track, my home track, in October. He actually wanted a picture with me because I'm top dirt iRacer. So no.
Okay, so then
I had
that
a
leads
picture with him.
to the next question. This is a new thing we're starting here with Erect Wednesdays. And this is why we laugh so hard. So, would you rather your back getting blown out by Bloomer or Devin Moran then? Because that was actually our two guys we were going to ask, and the fact that you brought them up was even better. So,
Oh man, there's just like I have to pick one of the two, and like
yup,
that's it.
they're blowing
It's
your
not
back
like,
out, dude.
Who would you rather blow, or who would you rather have your back blown out by?
He said one of the two.
One of the two. That's a tough
Between
question, man.
between Bloomer and Devin Moran.
So
I
what we're
gotta
here
be
to do.
honest.
We're here to ask the tough questions.
The tough questions, yeah. Wow,
Gotta
you really
put you
put
on
me
the
on the
spot.
spot with this one. I haven't, thought about this for hours on end in my bed at night.
It's even better because I can see that there's 7 people watching this, and I'm guessing 90% of them are your teammates, so you're not gonna live this one down.
Right. Fuck it. I mean, Bloomer's had a lot of experience in his life, man. He's done a lot of shit that he's probably not willing to talk about on camera. And I feel like, as far as experience goes, Bloomer would probably be the better lover. So I'm gonna go with him.
There's got to be a reason why he shows up late to almost every race, right?
You're not wrong there.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. So we went to Gateway 2021. Yeah, 2021. Right? Bloomer hit that inside barrier, and one of my buddies was pitting for him, and I shit you not, he comes up in the stands, and we walked over to him. We're like, "Did Bloomer hit the bong one too many times before he got in the car? He thought that pillar was a little bit further in, or what?" He goes, "I can't say."
I saw we were in St. Louis for the Gateway Dirt Nationals just in December, and like I said before, I mean all the Apex guys there, and well, not all of them, but a lot of them, and so after I think it was Friday night after the races, we went to this bar there called PBR. It's like the professional bull riding whatever, and it's a bar there, and it was actually pretty cool, like the amount of dirt racers that were there, of course, for the event, but like we were all partying and drinking and shit, and out of nowhere Bloomer just walks by, and I was like, holy shit, that's Bloomer. And then my team owner, Apex's owner, Nick Roberts, was like, hold on, I'll be right back. And Bloomer went into a different room where there's another bar, of course, and Nick went into that room, and about 10 or 15 minutes later, Nick comes back and he was like, just did a shot of Fireball with Bloomer. And I was like, fucking lucky. Why didn't you invite me, dude? That sounds like a fucking bucket list. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Getting his back blown out by Bloomer. Bucket list right there.
We got
I'm
Davies
supposed
in
to-
the chat
yeah, I'm supposed to
saying,
repl-
get good, Casey.
Oh,
And
fuck's
can't hear you from the back, Casey.
Oh, man.
So, Davies, if you're still in here, we're gonna guest appearance next week from you on here. I mean,
I
I'm
was
definitely gonna have to
thinking
have
that.
I'm gonna have to have the bleep button on hand for sure. But
for who?
Yeah, you know
Clayton-
that
Clayton-
is just gonna come
Bar
rolling
button
right off.
there.
Clayton Davies,
Clayton?
yeah.
Yeah.
Clayton's cool, man. I always, if Clayton, if you're hearing this, man, I always root for you during the Pro Series, man. He's a cool dude.
He put in the
Yeah.
in the chat, throws chapstick.
Oh, man.
Depends if I'm off.
I posted a meme. I don't know if any of y'all saw it, if you're friends with me on Facebook, but I posted a meme. I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago, of like, that meme where the Wolverine is like holding a pitcher and then he's like touching it, and it shows like the pitcher that he's like holding, like he's laying in bed and he's touching it, like he misses.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I posted a meme where I edited and put my pro license in that picture. And poor Clayton was like, man, he got into the Pro Series again this year, and he was like, man, I hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna be feeling this way in a couple of
Yeah.
months.
Clayton
Not
actually
bad.
just said you're the only one, my guy, with 2 hearts for cheering for him. And so that goes back to it. So Davies is I'm gonna say he's pretty frequently in the FSI Discord hanging out with us, and he's super
Good deal.
quick on responses. Like he will roast you faster than you can even get it out of your mouth.
Damn Australian.
Don't trust me, I know.
And
Damn
so
Australian,
there's
man.
one day I finally got him back, and he was talking something, and he said, "Oh, if Bradley Cox would send me a T-shirt, I'll wear it in the next pro stream." And I'm like, Davies, I'm pretty sure they only put guys that make the feature on camera. And his comeback instantly was, at least I got a chance of making the Pro Series feature. And then he made it the
You
next
got
week.
him, and then
but,
you got your back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it didn't matter because I was smiling ear to ear, knowing that, hey, I finally got one on him. I don't care if the score's 100-1. I got one.
Good
I
battle.
will have to get Nathan in the Discord. He's in
Ugh.
there
I'm
all
in
the
here right
time.
now.
No. I mean, in
No,
the
FSI.
one. We're in Cody's right now.
But, no, I mean, yeah, so you said your favorite drivers.
We're
Track-
making T-shirts. He says.
Yeah.
What's your
We're
favorite
making
iRacing
t-shirts.
track? I know for some
Yeah.
that's a difficult one. What's your favorite iRacing track?
Charlotte.
Bro, hold on. Davies just said we're making T-shirts, and then in quotes, Pro Series field filler.
That's great.
That's great.
I know how much you hate Charlotte.
It's- I like Charlotte. Well, did you see? You talking about the picture that I posted? Look, man, that was such bullshit. All right, that was after I had lost iRating from a wreck. So I had lost like 150, and so I was like, I'm gonna rebound this race. Like I'm feeling good. You know, I go out there, I qualify third. I got by Matthew Selby in the heat, and he's quick, and so I got by him in the heat for the pole, and then the fucking, oh my god, dude, we're coming out of four to take the green flag, and I stand on it, and the car rotates a little bit too much, and I smack the infield tractor tire
Oh,
before I even took the green flag for the feature.
it sounds like what I did to Ashton at Lincoln.
Dude,
But
I
do
don't
like
I
Charlotte
don't
a
even
lot.
want to hear about Lincoln. All right. The worst experience for me, track change is over. I'm like, screw it. We'll race it. We'll do it. And you know that barrier, that concrete barrier when you're going into 3, that's right there. It's like the two
Talking about
solid
at
cinder
Lincoln
bricks.
Side wall on turn 3 Lincoln.
Oh
Yeah, there's like
it
a
kinda-
opening.
You'll clip it easy.
Okay, no,
Oh,
I didn't
no.
clip it. So they're wrecking in front of us. Ashton's on the outside of me, and I'm like, okay, I know I can't go up, otherwise I'm gonna take a teammate out. So I'm on the brake as hard as I can. I'm going about 10 miles an hour. I barely nicked this dude's front tire. I bunny hop over this fucking barrier, and instead of it making me tow, I'm sitting there looking in at the track, facing the track. And I'm like, yo, Ashton, when you come down the backstretch, look and see where I'm at. And all I hear is, I don't see. Oh, and then he starts laughing, and I'm like, dude, I can't get back in the track. This fucking is stupid.
He's just stuck
Probably
out
only
there.
saw your wing.
That's
I'm just
pretty much all I
stuck.
could see is the side of the car through the fence, and as I go by, all I could see is the wing, and I'm like,
are
"That's
you
awesome."
kidding me? Like this,
Yeah,
It's like
I
a
wish I
chili
would have
bowl.
saved
If you go
it.
off, you can't come back in.
Sorry, Grover, but I love Lincoln. I think that's probably my new favorite track for 4
To answer your question, I think I would probably have to say 3 tracks are my favorite. Like they're all even for me. Knoxville in a late model. I think on the sprint car side, it's a little different with the way it races. I think it gets really top dominant for a
Yeah.
majority
Oh,
of the
yeah.
race. But in a
Ooh,
late
until
model,
you hit that cushion just right, and it'll send you
Yeah.
for a fucking ride.
yeah, ask Cody, he knows.
in a late model,
I just barely bicycle, and I like knocked my wheels out of alignment. I didn't touch the wall. I didn't do anything. I just came down really hard on the car, and it just broke one of the fucking Jacob's ladders, I guess. I don't know.
And to add on to that with Knoxville, I raced the street stocks there too. I think I don't think it was the rookie series. I think it was the C class I raced, and the street stocks at Knoxville are actually kind of fun. Like it's close
Late
Well,
models there.
I remember when they first added
models
the
are
damage
good.
model for sprint cars, and 305s were at Knoxville that week, and everybody was having a hell of a time with it because their front they get up on the berm just a little bit and it break one of the front tires or just
That
it's
was
just great.
that was a bug at the time, wasn't it? Where like if you just got on the cushion too much in the sprint car, it would break. I think that was a
Yeah.
big bug at Cedar Lake as well.
It
Yeah.
Oh, it
was
still is.
when they first introduced that damage model, yes, and actually ever since then, I don't know that I've actually seen that damage model being used. Now that I think
But-
about it, I don't really. I mean, I see front wings and stuff flying off, or top wings flying off, but I don't really see the damage happening like it was before. So I don't know if now that I'm thinking about it, I think iRacing went back and was like, okay, this is a little too aggressive. We need to just repeal it back.
Dialed it back a little bit.
We'll visit it at another time because that's what they do with everything on dirt. They'll just
Right.
chuck it in the back corner and forget about it.
But yeah, and for the record, most of my favorite tracks are based on supers, just because I like pro late models at certain tracks, but they're just too. I don't know. I just don't really like pro late models all that much. But I like Knoxville. Knoxville race is really, really good. Once it gets slick enough, especially in supers, and even in supers, like before it gets really slick, it can still provide really good racing as long as there's enough slick on the bottom to where you can throw sliders.
Right.
I like Eldora just because Eldora is the greatest dirt track, on the planet, as far as real life goes. It's probably one of my more successful tracks is Eldora. And then last, which might surprise some people, is Fairbury. I love Fairbury. Once Kiefer taught me how to run the bottom there in a late model, which was not something that I had ever really seen. I thought it was so top dominant that it was, ridiculous. I thought it was like Port Royal, but really, once the top really wears off, you can run the bottom, half a second faster than the top if the top's slick enough. So
That dude can build a late
Fairbury
model
can be
set.
fun.
Dude,
I love Kiefer's late model
Dude.
set, man.
Just
G
throwing his
Keef is
cars
the
into a
shit.
corner, it's so much smoother and nicer, and just I don't know. I
I
love
don't
it.
want to. I've only ran. I'm not bad mouthing him, but I've only ran. The only other sets I've ran is Zach McSwain's, because
Mhm.
back before I was on Apex, I was on Ryko, and
Right.
Zach was the builder for Ryko. And Zach's sets are fast. That's why I'm saying I'm not bad mouthing him. His sets are really fast, but they're so fucking tight on corner
Mhm.
entry.
That's the hardest part about late models too.
Right. Well, and late models are naturally tight anyways. So
Yep.
it was like, and before I joined Ryko and had access to sets, I was just running fixed stuff. So that was an adjustment, and I was able to work with him and win races with Zach sets. But whenever Apex was forming out and Kiefer started building some sets and was sending them to me, I was like, holy shit. I'm really fast in these because these fit my style. They
Yep.
turn easier for me, and I can really pedal it through the corner and not have to worry so much about, is this motherfucker going to rotate? So I prefer Kiefer sets just because of how it fits my driving style. But no discredit to Zach. He's a great builder and a really fast guy, and he can build really fast sets too. They're just a little too tight for my preference, but I love. Kiefer has only sent me one set that I thought was that I didn't like, and it was Kokomo. And we were preparing for pro qualifiers, and it was the first round, and it was at Kokomo. And I was like, this set is a little too loose once the track gets slick. So we tightened it up a little bit, and he ended up running the set that he adjusted for me for the pro qualifier because he thought it was better after I told him to tighten it up a little bit. So I love Zach. Kiefer sets.
Hey Joe. Hey Joe, since I know you're listening, shut the fuck up.
It is backwards on the stream.
I know my logo is fucking backwards. Fuck
But
you
on
guys.
everybody
alright?
else, it's like it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine in
It's
here.
just because
it's just
yeah,
on the
it's fine,
stream.
yeah. It's just on his because he's using his own Discord to see it. Yeah, it doesn't work.
What's
for
up,
whatever
Quinn?
reason.
Glad to see
okay.
you in here, man. Fuck, I had another question. Now I'm drawing a blank. I need to lay off the bush lattes, or it's gonna be another mimosa night. Joe, like your sex life, lol.
Uncle Joe for you.
Yeah, Davies, I seen your last comment. I'm sorry, I didn't remind you that you didn't make another feature.
Oh,
I'm
Poor
sorry.
guy. I
What's this?
feel your pain, Clayton. Man, it's tough. It's so tough.
Dude,
Say,
he's been at the wrong
somebody should tell
place.
Hofer that we're over in my
all the
Discord
time.
so he could stop asking where everybody is.
I just told him we'll be over soon.
I swear to God, every time I don't see him make one, I just want to throw the fucking remote across the
no
room. Like, you
biscuit.
idiots.
Yeah,
Driving
we've
me
been
nuts.
rooting for Clayton all season long. He's
Him
just
and
not
him
up.
and Ryan.
It's
I
hard.
mean,
No,
Yeah, and Ryan
so
hangs out in Discord with us all.
speaking of rooting
almost
for
all the time,
people
too.
in Pro Series, me and Cody met you that one night you came in his stream. I didn't know anybody in Pro Series late models really, and knew you, so I was rooting for you. But watching the Pro Series and now watching the Sprint Car Pro Series, like, there's some really good race in the late model Pro Series. Like, it's super fun to watch.
look at the chat, guys.
I'm looking.
Colby's in here now. Davies, Joe. We're all getting hounded.
Yeah, I mean, the late model Pro Series did produce really good racing.
I-55 was great. Like, it was like 3 lanes, the entire feature.
I was almost upset that I made that feature because that race ended up being so good, and I made the feature, but I didn't do anything. Like I hung out in the back. Like I made the feature with the last transfer spot in one of the LCQs behind Bergeron, and then I got my way up to like 13th or something like that, and then got into somebody and kind of fell back from there, and then everybody was talking about how great of a race it was. I was like, damn, I kind of wish I didn't make that one, so I could have watched
it. Yeah.
But I went back and rewatched the replay, and that was a damn good race. But it's just so hard, man. Like those, it was. I know it's this way in Sprint Car Pro Series. It's so qualifying dependent, man. Like you just
It is.
you practice, all week. At least for me in the beginning, I practiced like all week. You know, expecting one line, and it could be completely different, or you could be practicing that line all week and then you just fucking miss it in qualifying in the actual session, and then you're in a hole and you got to dig your way out. And it's those weeks that I didn't make the feature, it was kind of depressing. But I think as the season went on and I had more experience, and I kind of, I'm not going to say I cared less, but I kind of just said, fuck it, I'll, do how I do. I think I started doing a little bit better. Like I love telling this story. One of the Monday nights, before the pro series, uh, this was later on in the season. It was about 7 o'clock, which is whenever my wife gets home from work, and the pro series is at 8. My wife gets home from work, and I'm in here playing Rocket League. She was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Practicing for pro series." So, we ended up there
Sounds
at
like
the end
Colby.
not practicing as much, and it seemed to not have as much of. It didn't really have much of an effect, whether or not I practiced or not. At a certain point, you're like, how much practice can you really get in a week that can really make a difference and not have a negative impact, because you can't over practice. You really can, and I've done it plenty of times. So.
Burn yourself out.
We're just gonna have to get you to the FSI Discord so you can play Rocket League with everybody.
Dude, seriously, you play Fortnite? You play Fortnite?
I do play Fortnite. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. He's gonna fit right in.
It's all over now. Colby,
Colby,
if you're listening, just go ahead right now. Make voice channels for Fortnite. Make voice channels for fucking Rocket League, because I don't want to hear you guys while I'm trying to fucking race.
Colby's definitely listening, because Nathan, you were worried about your team trolling. Our team owner literally just said Nathan's pretty cool. You guys, the rest of you guys just suck. And then he goes, Clayton Davies is pretty cool. And then Davies or get roasted by me.
Pro drivers are former pro drivers, man.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe's like, we already have a Rocket League channel.
Look, I'm not good at Rocket League. Like I'm a solid Diamond 1 player. That's it.
Dude, don't worry, I suck too. Trust me. I just go in there, and the only thing
that I suck, man. I'm Diamond 1, man. Give me some respect.
Don't, Joe, you liar.
I'm Silver 1, so. But no, for sure, we'll have to get you over there. These guys are blowing up the chat right now. Grover, you suck everything. Fuck you, Joe.
You think everybody gives you shit on your team, Nathan? You should
Yeah,
come to
dude.
ours. Like, just
Yeah.
on ours, we should
It's a
talk each
full
other
roast
all
fight.
Yeah,
never-
we'll put it this way.
never
We
stops.
just
It
we
never
just had
stops.
another one join and go. This is the next soap on daily TV. Oh god.
I remember when I joined FSI and Colby's like, whatever your button is that triggers you, we're gonna hit it all the time. Just know that. So as soon as we
Oh,
figure that
dude.
out, it's over.
Dude, I can't miss a
look.
day of work without
Ashton.
Colby knowing I'm home.
Ashton, you might as well just bring up the picture on your backdrop now. We'll put it this way. This is how bad it gets. I shaved my beard and I had just the mustache. And I'm pretty sure they think I look like Wario now. Like, I sat
I'm
in...
confused.
Dude,
Which one of us is
need to
Bert
get
the
the hat.
Machine in Discord, though?
That's Casey Wheeler. So I straight
That's
up
great.
literally was like, okay, I want to
Wait,
get on FSI. What do I got to do? Ashton
Colby's
goes,
sitting in the lobby. Should we drag him in here? I think he feels like he needs to defend himself.
yeah, dude, drag Colby in. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, I want to get on FSI. What do I got to do? These
No,
guys are
see,
all.
he's gone now.
These
Oh,
guys
he
are
left.
all.
As soon as I threatened him, he left.
Right?
These guys are. Oh, just hang out in Discord. You know, you'll get on the team eventually. I spent 2 months in there every single day for at least 5-6 hours of straight getting roasted. Like to the point where if I was an emo kid, I probably would have offed myself already. And
Oh, Jesus.
like,
God, hey,
You're not wrong.
and then I'm like, okay. Then they finally tell me, hey, you made the team. Okay, cool. You know, I freaked out. I go over, I jump on the wife as she's laying on the bed. I'm like, I made the team. And I'm like, cool, the hazing is gonna stop. Nope, it got 10 times worse.
Look, man, I don't catch a break over at Apex. I remember whenever after Pro Series was over.
Davies, hold that thought. Davies goes, I'm an emo kid and I roast you.
I like Joe's comment better.
We reamed you like a good little slut you are.
Look, man, I remember whenever this was after Pro Series had ended, and I knew that I didn't, keep the license on points, and I was just kind of waiting for them to take the pro license away, and they hadn't. Like I figured it would be immediate. Like they were dropping the pro license off of everybody top 15 and down, and they didn't. So I was just still going in races, like, yeah, look at me, I got the pro license. You know what I mean? And then I was in Discord with everybody on Apex, and I got done with the race, and I was in the UI just looking around, seeing what was next, and I look up in the top right, and my license was blue, and I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh no, they took my pro license away finally. They do not fucking let up. It doesn't even bother me anymore, but they do not fucking let up about me not having my pro license anymore. They don't fucking let up. It's horrible over there.
See,
I'm
but
blinking. Someone save me. No, it's great.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Oh, there's Hofer right there, Colby.
Yeah, Colby was just giving me shit about not
Hofer,
dragging
you
him in here,
you want to
so-
turn your mic or your camera on?
Yeah.
We know Colby won't. We don't want to see a fat Asian.
Oh boy.
This hour and a
what to
half
think about.
session, I think, just turned into like a 4-hour session. This is gonna be the
Really
longest
did.
podcast ever.
I'm about to go get my food.
I don't know what to think.
We
about
got Josh
being here with all
Hofer in
these
here
sprint
now,
car guys,
Colby
man.
Iraqi.
I'm not a sprint car guy.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm
You're
not a
sprint car guy, Ashton. You wouldn't consider? Who said that they're not a sprint car guy?
Colby.
Colby.
Oh, you're not a sprint car guy?
No, he
No,
definitely
fellas.
is.
No,
Yeah.
I'm a
What's up,
bottom
Hofer?
split guy.
Yeah, whatever, dude. You guys
That way.
literally gave me the nickname Bottom Split Brenda.
You're still
Yeah,
boxed with Brenda.
that's because you're half retarded.
Hey, easy now.
We're so happy. He's full.
We can't say that on Facebook.
we can't be. Hey, we can't be saying the R word. We can't be
That's
saying the R
that's
word.
why this
Support.
channel was locked. You guys couldn't see it.
Speaking of which, Colby, we came up with the name for the podcast. We need you to make us a logo. It's E-Rect Wednesday. So Erect Wednesday, like eSim Sports.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna do Erect.
E and then wrecked like WRECKED. But everybody.
Brendan Davey said he's going to call you that from now
Oh,
on.
I know he is. That's fine.
Davies probably was.
Bottom split bitch. Davies bottom split bitch.
Damn.
Okay,
even
so
worse.
Davies sends me a Snapchat last night, right? And it's him
Oh,
and his
boy.
ladies. It's him and his ladies' legs, and all you can see is one of his and then both of hers. And her foot is like twisted all the way around. It fucking looks like it's her ankle's broke.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, Davies, dude. I'm like, Davies, is that ankle like broke? He goes, no, it's normal. I'm like, what the fuck? That is not normal, dude. Like that thing is broke.
Yo, Davey, if you're watching this, fill it in the hangout on Snapchat.
See if I can pull it. See if my phone will register the picture. Does that ankle? Oh, it's not gonna do it. Is it? Is it? Is it? Nope. But the
You got a fucking iPhone 5?
hey, you fuck you, dude. I'm a broke trailer park trash, dude. Davies, my.
Hey, how exactly do you plan on going to Eldora and then Knoxville and all these tracks over the summer?
You
What
going to
do-
Eldora?
Yes.
Pimping right here.
So this is what our plan is. So Casey and Ashton are gonna fly out. Ashton's gonna fly from.
Oregon.
Oh shit! Hold on. Something just.
Here we go.
No, I think we just got. I think
Here
we just.
go.
We just broke something.
I think Facebook just went down. Is it still streaming on your guys' end?
Yeah,
It's still alive.
I think you're just broken.
To
Must not just be on
activate
your
We
side.
definitely know he's broken.
chat, enable here.
Well, I'm planning on going to Eldora this year for either the World or the Dream. The World
Oh, there you
100
go.
or the Dream. So
Yeah.
I've never been to Eldora, and it's kind of like, it's on everyone's bucket list for dirt tracks.
Well,
and
that's
went-
what. Go ahead. Sorry.
I went to Bristol for the Dirt Nationals in 2021,
Ooh.
which was really cool.
That's for you, Davies.
He said, "You're good, Grover. It's good. You're just shit, Grover."
But
Nathan,
that's.
was 2021 the year that Heckman won?
For what division?
The late models.
I don't think so. 2021 was the first year that they did it. That was the year that Davenport won Supers.
Oh, okay. Because
that-
how
that
many?
was-
Yeah, how many different divisions did they have?
God, they had Supers. The one that I went to was the Dirt Nationals. That was by XR. It wasn't the World of Outlaws and everything.
I think
So
I think
there
he was
was-
at the Dirt National. Maybe it was the mods that he won.
There were Supers. There was mods. There was 604s, 602s, and then I think Hornets, which are front wheel drive.
Fuck yeah, dude.
think
4
that was
bangers
it.
for life.
There might have been street stocks, but we were only there for one day, and it was cold as shit. But it was quite the experience, man. There's nothing quite like the sound of super late models on a dirt track in a fucking coliseum
dome?
like that.
Like in a
I mean,
dome? Yeah.
oh, and I went to the Gateway Dirt Nationals, and there's nothing quite like that either, man. Hearing all them super late models ripping around that little ass track in a dome, man, that was amazing.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you're
what are-
definitely going to be in a treat when you go to Eldora. That's Eldora is only like an hour from me. So this last year was the first year that I went to the Dream, and
I saw that.
Was it? No,
I
I went
saw
to the
that.
World. I went to World, and that was quite the experience. I got to meet fucking what's his name? You talked about him earlier.
Bloomer?
Moran.
No, I met
Bobby
Devin
Pierce?
Moran at his. Yeah, I met Bobby Pierce when I was at World. I met Devin Moran at his own house actually, because
He
when I went
blew
go
your
karting at his
back
house.
out.
He did blow his
Jesus.
he did actually blow my back out. There's like for 2 or 3 laps we battled with each other. He couldn't get around me, and then he finally just said, "Fuck it, you're too slow," and he just moved me.
But to answer your question, yeah. So me, Casey, Ashton are gonna road trip it. They're gonna fly in. Ashton's coming from Oregon. Looks like he's scarfing down a banana. Watch out, he's gonna deep throat
Oh.
this thing.
Oh,
Um,
it's like that chick at did you guys see that video of this chick at I think Boston? She's wearing a Bruins jersey, but she was at a baseball game and she just like stuck half a hot dog in her mouth, and somebody's taking a video of it, and there's like 3 guys down the way that just like stuck their head out to watch it. They're like, damn.
But so Ashton's gonna fly in from Oregon to Minneapolis. Casey's gonna fly from Vegas into Minneapolis. I'm gonna pick him up because
Hurry,
it's on
quick!
the
Someone
way.
say something else to see how many times he can restart.
Shut the fuck up! And we're gonna road trip it to Ohio. We're gonna stay
Anyway,
for
my foot got stuck in the toilet.
yeah. We're gonna stay for the Sprint Car Million.
Pro Series was really good, man. I had a fun time. You know, it was tough.
Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday we're gonna head towards Knoxville. We're gonna go Saturday. Sunday we're gonna go to Huset's, and then I'll take him back to the airport. So we're gonna knock 3 tracks off our bucket list.
That's
1 week.
fucking sick. That's awesome.
So
And we're all
It was-
gonna
we're
meet
gonna
everybody pretty
yeah.
much for the first time.
Yeah, that's a really cool
Shut
experience
the
too.
fuck
because
up,
like
Joe.
I'd been with hanging out with all the Apex guys for almost a year, and then finally got to meet all them fuckers at Gateway in St. Louis, and that was really cool. And my wife went too, and so they all got to meet Hannah, the Hannah part of Hannah's husband. So so it was cool, and we had a good time. So it's definitely cool finally getting to meet all your buddies from iRacing. I mean, I met Jesse Enterkin a couple of times at Talladega and at Bristol, and I had met a
He's a cool
YouTuber Armed for Gaming, Austin Missler. He's a pretty cool dude. I met him whenever I went down to Tampa for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game in October. So, it's cool meeting guys that you've only seen through a screen and talked to in Discord for hours on end. So it's
Right.
cool, man.
Well, and that's
Yeah,
the
like I'm going to South Dakota in June, and I'll stay with Hofer right there. So
see, and that's the crazy part is I'm only 5-6 hours from Holfer.
I thought you were gonna say you're only 5'6". It's like, yeah.
Well,
we know.
I am only 5'6", but hey, it's better than you being 5'4".
No, I'm 5'7", but okay.
5'9",
Must be
short
nice.
little dude, but not quite as short as others.
6'1".
Clearly.
Oh, for push to talk.
Throws chapstick. Hold on.
Oh, hold on a second. Get the chapstick.
He's got the chapstick. He's gonna be like that. Oh man.
You're to Ireland for that.
God.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's I've known Ashton the longest out of this whole scenario here, and then Nathan, I've probably known you the second longest out of everybody here. So I'm definitely looking forward to meeting Ashton, and I guess I'm okay with meeting Grover. And
Tunnel
definitely
of
looking
love,
forward to meeting
man.
Casey and stuff too.
Tunnel of love.
I think it's gonna be so weird to meet Casey
yeah.
because I'm gonna look. I like, to me, like, I guess that when I talk to everybody online, for whatever reason, when I see them person to person, I'm thinking I'm gonna look at them eye to eye. But then when I see Casey, I'm just gonna be like breaking my neck, looking straight up at him.
Can
This is close him.
Davies, what are you doing
This
right
is true.
now?
Yeah, this is.
Can someone send Davies an invite to the Discord? Let's just get Davies in here
Look,
right now.
I posted it in the general chat
Yo,
where everybody can see it on the
Davies,
FSI Discord.
get
So
your ass
anybody
in
from
here.
the FSI Discord can get in here.
Come on, Davies, come show off the tattoos and start dropping the see you next Tuesdays.
Nathan, have you ever?
Oh, he's at work right now.
Have you ever seen Davies?
Yeah, I've seen what he looks like from his Facebook.
You talked
He's
to
a
him before?
fucking rock star. I've never actually talked to him, but
Oh,
He
You guys
is
gotta-
though. Like,
We're gonna
I
have to
like
get in
him.
here one night with him.
Yeah, he's probably the funniest dude that you'll ever
Oh.
talk to.
Without
I'll
a doubt.
admit, I
from what I know
Facebook
of
creeped
him
his
on-
profile.
It's a
If you look back like 6-7 years ago, you'd be thinking, how the fuck did this dude do this transformation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it kind of makes you
Mopping the
wonder how
floor.
he even got onto iRacing. Like, don't you have like a lot of pussy to slay? Like, come on now.
If you look at-
Hey,
if you
don't-
look at the pictures, no
don't-
offense, Davies, if you
don't
look at
make
the
his-
pictures, six,
don't make
6,
his
7
head
years
any
ago.
bigger than it already is. All right.
you'll understand.
He's gonna be like, he's gonna go home and tell his wife, be like, hey, yo, these guys think I can slay a lot of pussy.
Look, I'm sorry, Davies. It's just the Corona talking. That's all.
He's mopping the floors at work right now while he's watching this.
oh,
That's a
Dude,
goddamn lie.
I'm literally
And then-
picturing some Joe Dirt fucking shit right
oh
now.
yeah. In their freaking shop and underneath.
Yup.
ground.
I will never forget the first time I saw a picture of Davies, and I'm a little bit into metal, and one of my buddies who got me into it showed me Parkway Drive, and he was that was immediately the first thing I thought of when I saw Davies. I was like, oh, that's Parkway Drive right there.
He goes,
Slayed
slayed
enough
enough
for
for a
a
Nobody else gets
lifetime
that because
already.
Apparently, nobody listens to Parkway Drive.
Hey.
Nobody.
Way to go, Nathan. He comments back, slayed enough for a lifetime already.
Man, right there.
Oh, God.
The best way to respond to it.
Ugh.
Nathan, where are you from?
I'm from Weaver, Alabama.
Okay.
It's about 30 minutes from the Super Speedway, Talladega Super Speedway. So
And Hannah's not your cousin,
Well,
right?
I was gonna say it's
Not
about
that I
30
know of.
minutes from his cousin's house.
Hold on, is she a ginger too?
no. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but no, she's not a ginger. She's got blonde hair, blue eyes.
So you might as well now the folks at home are probably all wondering what she looks like. So
Just create my profile on Facebook. You'll see what Hannah
Davies
looks like.
goes, Nate, you putting me up when I come over? Davies, he's gonna blow your
Absolutely.
back out. You're gonna be in Alabama, dude. You trust me, you don't want to be down there.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Davies will walk
watching-
out of there, and the next thing he can only say is "Roll Tide."
Yeah, dude.
Look,
No, it's Roll
I
Tide
have a
cunt.
feeling- Listen, I have a feeling that most Australians, especially ones that like dirt track racing, would fit in really, really well down here in Alabama.
Well, yeah. Hold on. Here's the question to make sure. Davies, you guys fuck your cousins over in Australia?
Here we go. I can't say the R word, but he can say that everybody from
cousins.
Alabama fucks
This
their
stuff
cousin.
definitely is getting demonetized if there is
Yeah,
any chance.
Jeez.
Davies is not like, I don't feel like moving to America and having me a Neff son.
Neff, son. Jesus.
Dude, it's kind of like, for me, it was kind of like growing up on the res. Everybody's related. It's my sister's cousins, uncles, nieces, nephews. Like,
Hey, do you think in Alabama that is their goal? They want to have an Neff son?
honey,
No.
you might as
That's
well
Neff
just come
Son
say
Nation.
hi. Just get on the screen and say hi.
Shit, Grover's
I'm trying
parents.
to figure out what
That's how
track
you get a Grover.
Josh Hofer is racing on. Don't say it, Josh. I'm trying to
you
figure
can't
out what
figure
track
it
they're
out.
He's
racing on, just
definitely
by- just by
Eldora.
that corner.
Eldora.
Just
Yeah.
shut up. Yeah,
He's
it's
so
Eldora.
focused.
It's Eldora.
Grover's parents had a Nerf son, not a Neff son.
Dude,
They just
Devin-
threw him everywhere.
Devin Nelson just jumped in the chat and goes,
He's
I
very
came here
soft.
for the free weed.
Diva Nelson. Y'all know Devin Nelson?
I don't.
Diva.
Devin Nelson's a cool dude. Me and him has had some pretty good battles in late models. He's a really good late model driver. He's on the CFM team. So he's
Yeah, I'll
he's a
never
good-
forget the day that Nathan called me a hack on my stream, though. He's like, if you don't win this race, you're a hack. And I was like, well, you can. This was at the start of it, and I'm like, well, you can already call me a hack because I know I'm not
It
gonna win
was-
this.
It was 360s at Eldora, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
track's
I remember
garbage.
it being at Eldora. I just didn't remember what car exactly. I knew it was a sprint car.
I mean, it
but,
was
yeah.
sprints. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and I remember the first time I ever saw your stream was I was bored as shit. Decided to run 358s at Cedar Lake, and ended up
All of us were in
doing
there.
doing fairly well. And won pretty handedly. And I saw that you posted your Twitch in the chat, so I was like, let me go see what these guys are up to. And then we ran it back, didn't we? We ran another one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
I think we
Yeah.
did.
So
That was
I remember those fixed races
Ethan.
days in D class. I'll never do those again.
Ethan was in
There
there.
goes Grover again eating.
I just decided to run that randomly. Dude, that was actually kind of fun. I was ripping the top in that 358. Oh my god.
We threw up a hosted after too, because you and Ethan were battling.
Really?
Yeah, Ethan the gamer.
You were like
Kid.
mid drink, and I was like I'm gonna enjoy this Corona, and then I'm like, no.
I questioned life really fast.
I'm trying to remember. I do remember. It was
You remember that,
360s
Cody?
360s at Lanier, wasn't it?
No, it was a late model or modified race that Cody put up.
Did I? I would
Yeah.
never. I
Yeah.
would never.
I don't
Ethan,
remember that.
the
I
gamer,
remember
was
it
in
being
there.
Lanier, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was late models or modified. I think it was sprints.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nathan threw up something. I think he threw up like a supers or something like that at Charlotte, and Ethan went over and raced with them.
Maybe that's
But
what it
I was like, you don't. I told him you don't want me in a late model because I'll
Maybe
take
that's how
everybody
it
out
was.
there. Like I have a really awesome late model wrap, and I don't know why because I never run them.
Hey, I got a pretty good sprint car, but I don't fucking use it. Sprint car's just sitting in the shop collecting dust, man. It looks good though.
Davies, I know I am a hack. I know it.
Oh, Davies.
Dude, Davies is just roasting us from the chat. I couldn't even imagine if he was in here right now how bad it would be.
I'm surprised none of my teammates, none of the guys that came over and decided to roast me. Maybe they just haven't seen it.
We've been solid 7 people watching this thing at a time, so.
Oh my God,
Well, there's
7.
7
Hey, you know
in
what?
The chat.
Colby, that's still more girlfriends than you've ever had in your life.
Whoa.
Dude, that's not how many dudes have been in your ass though.
Davies goes at least Grover's only eating. He usually licks windows.
It's just because he's out of crayons.
Yeah, hey, leave me alone. Dude, the blueberry flavored ones are the best.
Oh my god.
Ashton, that drink a little strong over there or what?
I forgot I put whiskey in it.
I'm gonna need some
How
more
do you
beers.
forget you put whiskey in
Because I was drinking moonshine.
It's
'cause you
better
guys
than-
started drinking beer.
It's better than Hofer calling me a
Where
drunk
does that
fuck
come
the other
from?
night.
You guys were drinking beer, so I started drinking moonshine. So
I didn't have any beer. That's all I had in the fridge behind me.
I had to catch up.
Ashton, I just wanted to say, I think whenever I first saw your name, I thought that you were a kid. I really did. The name Ashton Mailer just sounds like a kid.
If he
And
takes
then
his hat
you hit
off,
me
he
with that
doesn't look like a
deep-ass
kid.
Voice, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a man.
This is a man.
Hey,
This is a
Nathan.
man.
It's all right, man. I thought the same exact thing.
I feel like if
After-
you wanted to
after
ask
about
him
the-
now about how to drive a late model, now's probably the best time.
Yeah, with Ashton, after about the 15th message about my Knoxville paint, I was like, okay, I guess I'll talk to this guy. Let's see.
No, listen. Talking about the asking how to drive a late model. I will give the same answer that I was given one time. So whenever I was streaming, I used to stream iRacing, and whenever I was streaming, I ran a open setup super late model race at Volusia, and my now teammate Damian Kiefer, who wasn't my teammate at the time, he comes in there. It was an official, and he comes in there and waxes our asses. Like I got second to him by like 5 or 6 seconds. And I will give the same answer that he gave me because at the time I was feeling pretty good about myself, and I was like, damn, this guy just waxed me by like 5 or 6 seconds. What the hell? So I asked him, I was like, well, what are you doing different that I'm not? And he just said, oh, just, throttle control and keeping the car straight. And I was like, really? That's it? That's all you got for me? So that's the answer. That's my answer to how to drive a late model. Is just throttle control and keep the car straight. This fucking works for me so far.
You know what? You know what? If you asked me how to drive a sprint car, I would probably just tell you the same damn thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I-
whenever it really boils down to it, that's really all it is, Well,
And it's
in a
really
sense, you
hard
gotta
to try
know-
to.
You got to know
Go
the
ahead.
lines. Knowing the lines is huge. Like from one car to the other, from fixed to not fixed to whatever. I mean, it really depends on each scenario, and if you know it, you have the advantage. Like for example, like before I ever started running open setup supers, I would only run fixed supers, and the lines were a little different. Like at Charlotte, I didn't know that running top 1 and 2 and then cutting down and then running slider 3 and 4 was the fast line. I thought it was just middle. And I got my ass kicked in qualifying. I qualified, horribly because I didn't know that.
Hold
So
on,
once
what was
you
that
know
line?
that,
I need to take notes.
yeah. Charlotte, if there's
You don't
if
race
there's-
late models.
it's a huge part of it though, is knowing the lines and when to go where.
Could you
and
imagine
especially
if
as the leader.
Hofer had to try to run 2 different paints on 2 different cars? He'd go fucking nuts.
Oh God, his brain would explode.
Dude, seriously.
What do you think of pro lates at Bristol?
Me?
I think it's the easiest thing in the game to drive.
Me?
If I can go in there and get a win at pro lates at Bristol, that is the easiest thing in the game to drive.
I think prolates at Bristol is possibly the most boring thing you can do on iRacing. And also for me, one of the most frustrating things, because once the track gets really slick, it actually ends up more bottom dominant.
Yep.
And it's really hard. Like I said before, I don't really like pro late models. I prefer supers, and supers haven't went to Bristol in forever. So the last time pros were there, I ran it, and it's just pros are so hard to get to rotate because they're a little bit lower on power, and balancing that, getting it to rotate versus not letting it get too sideways at a track like Bristol is really key. And it was, I think, the first time I ran it, and I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
Especially in the slick, but it's just boring. Bristol is on the bottom of the list of my favorite tracks.
I think it's the same way for the sprint car guys. Pretty boring
Yeah,
track.
I
just
like it.
gets to a point. It just
Shut
well,
up.
even if you race it in a 410, it gets to a point too where the top gets so slick and it becomes so bottom dominant, and then you get those weirdos that want to try to run down on the apron
They
because
need
it's
to
where
fix
there's the
that.
only moisture. So
They really
and
need
they
to
make
fix
it
that.
work.
They need to fix that. They need to add either some tractor tires or add them little, what they call the dirtles.
You're just mad because I'm
Yep.
faster than
You know what I
you
mean?
there because I
Well, I
can run
think
the
the other-
apron and you can't.
The other
I'll
thing
be
is people
not on the
can't
apron.
drive with the speed. I think the speed that the sprint cars are going, the net code's worse.
Right.
then-
yeah,
and
that's
then
you-
always been the problem with Bristol, is the net code.
Yeah, you don't have. It's crazy. We don't have NASCAR's net code like sprint cars and dirt cars, but
Well,
but then we're also pacing
carrying-
4 freaking laps.
yeah, we're
No, that's
carrying
the
a
other
little
thing they
bit.
gotta
sucks.
fix. And you can go into the get tire changes and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
and that's
fuel,
not
tire
something-
change.
Right, and that's
like,
not
I
something
can't-
we should be able to do.
You
I
know,
can't believe they
you
haven't
bring
fixed that.
you bring up NASCAR, Hofer, and you being from Alabama, Talladega's right there for you. I'm assuming you grew up watching NASCAR. Do you have an all-time favorite or a now-time favorite for NASCAR? If he says Bubba Wallace, we're
As-
cutting him from the
as-
stream,
as-
just so you know.
As far
I
as
don't-
far as what, like a driver?
Yeah,
Are you
no.
talking to me?
Oh.
Yep, talking to
Are
you.
you talking to me?
Yep.
Okay. So I grew up watching NASCAR. Yes.
Why don't you guess?
I mean, you can guess if you want.
What
Jeff.
do you
No.
I'm thinking
Uh,
Kyle Busch.
Nope.
No.
No.
Hold on,
it's-
is it
it's
an
gotta-
older
it's-
driver or a newer
No,
driver?
it's more old school than that.
It. I'll just say it.
Junior.
So Earnhardt was my favorite whenever I was a kid, and then whenever he died, I was watching it, the 500 at my grandparents' house, the Daytona 500, 2001. I was 6 years old, or gonna turn 6 years old that year, and so then I'd still watch NASCAR, but I didn't really have a favorite driver. Then in 2004, Casey Kane came along, and I started rooting for Casey Kane, and I've just kind of stuck with
That was
him.
my favorite driver. Yep.
He's not in it anymore, obviously. But I think Casey was a good one to stick with because he's such a big supporter of the dirt racing community. He does so much
Oh, yeah.
sprint car stuff and everything. And
Yeah.
I actually met him at Talladega Short Track whenever the sprint cars were there in 2011 maybe, and took a picture with him. As far as a current day favorite driver, I don't think I really have one. I haven't really paid much attention to NASCAR since maybe 2009, 2010. I just don't really care for it. I did like Jimmy Johnson a lot, and that's why I said that, you might clown me for liking Davenport because he's so dominant, but Jimmy Johnson was just so good and he carries himself so well. If you watch any interviews, he's like one of the most well-spoken guys. He seems like such a nice guy. He's so good that it's like, why hate on him just because he's so good?
Right.
And that was kind of how I got towards the end of. That's kind of how I got towards the end of, at the end of Jimmy Johnson's career, where I was like, you just gotta respect it, man. And so that was kind of two of my favorite drivers whenever they were, whenever I was still paying attention, was Casey Kane and Jimmy Johnson. But as of right now, I mean, I hadn't watched NASCAR racing in years.
That duo, that crew chief driver duo, is nobody will
Chip
ever.
Canals?
Yep, Chip Canals and
nobody
Jimmy.
will ever touch what those two did.
Yeah.
I fell out
Well,
of
except
NASCAR
for
when they
the
started doing
tech area,
stages.
because they got caught cheating how many times?
Okay.
The laps were worse.
Okay, see, but
that
that's
was
like
really
I'm
bad.
just saying.
Those long
Yeah.
runs.
Yeah.
that's
like
like
who's
the
in
same
shape,
logic.
who can be consistent.
That's like the same logic that
Not the,
some of
you
these
can have a
people are
break.
like
Oh,
saying
fuck that, go
about,
run.
those that are basketball fans that are saying, "Oh, LeBron sucks," but he has all these accolades. It's like, well, yeah, it's because he's got the longest career out of any NBA player to date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like Jimmy's deal. I mean, he had probably the most years completed in the last decade than anybody as far as a driver, goes, and he's still driving. I think that he's planning on running some one-off shows this next season.
Yeah,
actually,
he plans on running the Daytona 500 or qualifying for it anyway.
Yeah, and it sucks, with NASCAR right now, because probably one of the best drivers that they have is probably not really someone that would consider themselves a full-time NASCAR driver.
And Larson.
Yeah,
I think, I don't know, man. I don't really pay much attention to NASCAR, like I said, but they need to do something to, I don't know, in some way make the cars harder to drive, outside of like the fact that these new cars just have, such a small tire that once they get a little sideways, it's done.
Yeah.
There's no saving it. If there was some way to make the cars a little bit more harder to drive and a little bit more skill based, not saying that they're not, but more skill based, I think maybe somehow, I don't know if the racing would get better, but it would really show who's better.
If they'd
overall,
bring him
who's
back,
the best of the best.
if they'd bring him back to the way they were in the 90s, no restrictor plates, and do whatever to him, it damn near seemed. I think it'd bring back a lot of fun racing, because they were going 205 miles an hour at the super speedways. Now they're only hitting 180.
Yes.
That sounds right.
This sounds really bad to say, but I almost wish they made the cars less forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Teach these kids that are coming in that shit actually breaks, and when you do something, not always is it going to save you. Now all these safety restrictions are going to put a damper on that,
Yep.
now in this day and age, but I almost wish they were less forgiving. Like shit actually does break, and
you're going to get hurt.
Right.
So, well, and to go back on your Casey Kane thing, so fun fact, I'm from Sedro-Woolley, Washington, so right outside of Elma, where Skagit's at. My uncles actually grew up racing with Casey. My mom actually used to babysit him growing up.
That's
So
awesome.
we seen him out here in Fargo. He set the new track record. We went down afterwards, and he had this long line, whatever. And he actually seen me standing off to the side, and he took 2 seconds and he goes, "Hey, just tell your grandparents I said hi." And then he went on his way, and I'm like, "Okay, I was just coming over to say hi." Like,
He told me back in 2011 that he was excited to meet the future Top Dirt iRacer, so it was pretty cool.
yeah, Nathan's kind of a big deal.
This is kind of a Davies moment. You two are gonna click.
Oh, dude, so well. So it's gonna be like 2 peas in a pod.
Oh
Like
yeah.
whenever I met Overton, like he was like, "Oh my God, is that Nathan Waddell? Hold on," and he took a picture, and you know.
I thought
try
that's
not
how
to
they
take
were
pictures.
with Howard Weaver, though.
Right?
He's like,
That
man,
guy's
he's like, man,
that
roasted.
guy's larger than life, man. Howard's a funny dude.
Dude, I
Oh,
love his deal on XR when they're full broadcast and he's sitting
Oh my
back there with the
God.
sign that and then they
Have
even
you
got
seen-
even more trouble.
Have you seen the video? It's like a 20-minute. Someone was trying to tell me it was real.
Is that
It
when
was
he
like a
drove
20-minute
down?
sketch. Yes. It's
Yes,
a sketch.
I have.
It's gotta be a sketch.
No,
That
it's
was the
straight up real.
funniest fucking video. There's no shot.
It's
That was the funniest fucking video I've ever seen in my life.
dude, it's have you
as
guys
far
seen
as,
it?
like this is concerned.
He drives all the way down. Was it to Charlotte or where was it? And
He
they're
was already going down there, man. It was for the XR,
yeah,
the
but
XR
they made him
Super
seem like
Series
he was gonna get
there, and it was
unblocked
the
on
spring
iRacing
fling.
and
That
everything.
was so funny.
And then he
dude. That
gets
was
there,
so
goes
funny.
to log in. They don't let him in. He's throwing the computer out the window and off the balcony and everything else.
Whenever he goes to log in and he's banned, right? He goes to log in. There's like 16 emails that pop up to autofill. I fucking lost it. Oh fuck.
And then he's almost crying at the end, and
Yeah.
he's like, "You guys had me drive all the way down here. Tell me I'm fucking unbanned,
16 hours.
and I'm not even unbanned. What the fuck is this shit?" And he's like, just a mess. After he just threw their
so funny.
computer and monitor off the balcony of the announce part. And dude, it's hilarious.
do you know
David
that?
said something in the chat. I'll only come if Nate's there too. What were we talking about?
Be it on here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, let's go, Davies.
Davies,
Come on.
dude, straight up, you're at work, you're already watching it. You might as well just turn your phone on camera and just jump in here for a minute. Let the fans see what they want. Give them the ooh and leave.
There's a
We'll
personal
send it
invite
off
for you
with
in the
that.
general chat of the FSI Discord.
There's a personal invite with fucking 50 other people.
I'm gonna have to get off here soon, here in about 7 or so minutes.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
about-
Same.
we'll wrap her up here actually. But
You know, Grover, the Kane used to be a primary sponsor for Cottage Grove.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
just
That's
told
how I gotta
Tasty
meet
Kane,
him.
I just told them yesterday that they're adding a 410 sprint car
I
driver.
saw
They're
you
making
said
an
it.
announcement, and I told them I'm their driver. I'm their man. I got it.
That's what I've been saying this whole time, man. Like, there was an article last year, earlier in the year, about top up and coming super late model drivers, in the real world, and I was like, so sad that I was snubbed on that list. You know what I mean?
He said, I
was
wrote
really
a personal
disappointed.
letter to the editor. Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is this?
I have over 200 wins. What more do you want?
All right.
I guess I just didn't qualify because I'm not up and coming anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
You
As
just got to
Davies
do
would say,
something
"Get good."
unreal. Like, I was just looking at iRacing's awards, and like they've got the award for when you hit 9,000 iRating on oval, but they don't have one for after you hit 10,000. So apparently, you just have to hit 10,000. Apparently, 10K. That should be everybody's goal because iRacing doesn't even have an award for that yet.
Dave,
I'm just
hold
trying
on
to get to
before
9K.
before I close
know.
this out. Davies just commented, "I've got 500 plus. Get good."
How many starts you got, Davies? How many starts you got, Davies? I got like 700, and I've got like almost 250 wins. Come on now.
But
Now,
Here, I'll look
Come
it up
on
for you
now.
if you ain't got it.
I
We're-
ain't trying to brag though.
we're gonna go ahead and close
Fucking
this out. Big
Coronas.
thanks to Nathan Waddell jumping in here with us tonight. Davies did say
On short notice too, by the way, because I literally just messaged him like I don't know, maybe 6
Yeah,
hours
you
before we were
messaged
about to
me
do
at,
this,
like-
and I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you want to do this?"
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, man.
Davies goes 1440-ish.
He's got 1420 exactly
See?
on his main account.
See the
So-
win percentage though. The win percentage. I think I got you beat there, Clayton.
But
I remember
thanks-
passing him on my climb of the rankings on iRating. I remember passing him and I was like, I've made it.
Thanks guys for tuning in.
What's your iRating currently?
Dead ass, it's right at 8,500. It's 8,500 on the money. I'm
Okay.
debating just leaving it at that, but I'm
Fuck yeah.
I call it a career. I hang
Man
out
the
steering
myth,
wheel at
legend, Nathan
8,500.
Waddell.
hang it up. We're just gonna.
Yeah. Big thanks to
Been fun.
Nate
We're
for
just gonna
jumping
take
in
this
here.
wheel off.
And we'll catch you guys next Wednesday with Erect Wednesdays. I still can't get over that. Can't wait to see what Colby comes up with for a logo for that if he even does it. He's probably gonna tell me to fuck off.
Giant dildo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I told you, dude. I told you he's gonna
Veiny
come up with a
bastard.
giant penis with veiny fucking.
And then Nathan said with sprint car shooting out the end of it.
Dude, I'm gonna have it
Yes.
as I'm gonna have it look
Same.
like a giant dick, and then the ball sack will be 2 tires.
Oh my god.
And it'll look like
So-
it'll look like Roadrunner.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But all right, guys, from all of us over here, thanks for tuning in. Catch us next week, 7 o'clock Central Time. You guys have a good night.